Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Piscataway. Ohio State and Rutgers getting ready for a Big Ten matchup on the first Saturday in November. We're fired up for Ohio State and Rutgers here this afternoon on Buckeyes Now. Brendan Gulick and Anthony Moeglin with you for a quick pregame check-in because the pregame report has now officially gone out just a few minutes ago. And the big news today, Anthony, is that the Buckeyes are missing two starters in the secondary. Denzel Burke and Lathan Ransom both not available today. So Ohio State's depth is going to be tested a little bit against a team that probably will come out and be creative. I think that's the best way to describe Rutgers.
Yeah, no question about it. If there's ever a day for two of your top guys in the secondary to be out, it would be today, as Rutgers' passing attack isn't the best. But as we talked about earlier in the week, like Greg Schiano's going to have something up his sleeve this afternoon just to try to keep Rutgers in it. There's no way that those two teams could roll off the buses and look exactly the way that they do, and Rutgers think that they have a chance. So you're going to see something creative, and missing two guys in the secondary isn't great, but you feel okay, this afternoon against this Rutgers passing attack.
I mean, it puts probably a little bit more emphasis on Sonny Styles, who's going to start at safety. I would imagine Jermaine Matthews is going to see a lot of time at corner. Jordan Hancock is certainly going to see a lot of time on the field today. You know, I'm not terribly concerned about Ohio State's depth because those guys have played well when they've gotten chances. Obviously, Sonny Styles has been out there a ton. But, you're not going to have as fresh of legs late in the game, I would think. That's more where that's going to come into play.
Yeah, no question about it. And there's another extra emphasis on everything that's happening up front. Like, this is a good opportunity for the defensive line to say, hey, let's take over the game on defense. Don't even let the secondary be a part of the conversation, right? Let's just take it over, end it there, and for your linebacker play to be equally as good. So, you love the depth that you've built throughout the year. And you just hope that, those guys it's more precautionary than it is long-term that they're going to be missing some time.
For the first Saturday in November, from a weather perspective, I mean, this is pretty much anything you could hope for. It's not warm, but it's not freezing cold. The temperature today is going to be in the 50s. Probably going to have a good little breeze going. It's perfect football weather, but it's not the kind of day where, even though it's overcast, we're not anticipating any rain, so that's a good thing. And look, I think Ohio State, in terms of their offensive game plan, I think they found out last week, a reminder of what this offense can look like when Travion Henderson is fully healthy. And given that Kyle McCord is certainly going to play, but maybe not at 100% as he deals with an ankle injury, having a running attack that you can lean on is obviously going to be helpful.
Yeah, no question about it. And Travion Henderson, really making his mark last week and coming back with a huge performance was something that, as Buckeye fans, we love to see, because as we've said it throughout the year, this offense, while in the past it's been very, very explosive, it's built off a strong run game. And we just haven't seen a consistent run game up to this point. Now, going into Wisconsin and doing what we did last week and having Travion really go off last week was so huge for the Buckeyes, and I think that was a great building block, and you'll hope to see that continue this week. Just lean on the run, lean on your guys in the backfield, Travion and Chip, and see if they can run you to a victory today with keeping Kyle McCord again out of harm's way, getting him back and healthy.
This is a Rutgers team that is certainly better. Best start they've gotten off to since 2012. Probably their best chance to beat Ohio State since they came into the conference. They're still nearly a 20-point underdog in the game, but this is not the same kind of Rutgers program that we saw 5-6 years ago where, you kind of expected a 50-point game. I really think Rutgers is going to come out and, compete pretty hard.
Yeah. God bless you. Yeah, they're going to compete, man. And anytime, you love that. And I've said it a couple times. I'm a big fan of Greg Schiano and his ability to turn programs around. And obviously he was at Ohio State. And even in the past, he was at Rutgers really when they were in their heyday. And, they kind of feel as though they're getting back to that. They're not there yet, right? You're 6-2, haven't really played too much great competition to this point. But they're a scrappy team. They're going to be tough. They're going to try to punch you in the mouth and really drag you down into the mud and make you fight down there. So it's really on Ohio State and up to Ohio State to try to just take control of the game early. And just don't let them hang around, because the more that they hang around, the more they believe. And that, by the end of it, if they're believing pretty well and they're in it, you never know what could happen.
The other big addition that we're expecting for Ohio State is that Emeka Egbuka should be available today. He warmed up the last couple of weeks and ultimately wasn't quite good enough to make it a go. But the Buckeyes are anticipating, I know Pete Thamel reported it this morning, Ryan Day told some reporters last night that Emeka should be on the field today. So theoretically, Ohio State's going to have its full complement of offensive players available today, with the exception of Mayan Williams, who we learned a few days ago, obviously now is out for the remainder of the year. And having Emeka back, I think, is huge, because you saw what he was able to do, especially in that Notre Dame game. I mean, that kid he is probably a first-round draft pick, maybe second-rounder, but where the projections are right now, things are looking pretty good for him. And I just don't think he gets enough attention outside of Ohio State's, group of fans, because everybody here wants to talk about Marvin Harrison. Having Emeka Egbuka is a complete game changer for this offense.
Yeah, you put number 2 on any other team in the country, and he's their best receiver, right? He just picked the one team that has a superhero playing the position as well. So it makes it tough from that perspective. But it's great to have him back for a couple reasons. The first is that in today's game, this Rutgers defense is the number 2 pass defense, really, in the Big Ten, and I believe it's in the country. I forget the exact note, but they haven't played anybody that was going to open it up and throw it on them. So we'll see how legit that ranking is. But it's good to have him back for that. But it's also good for the long term, right? Just to get him back into the flow. He's missed a couple weeks now, and this is a really good stretch with taking on these next couple weeks before Michigan, to really get him going, get his legs back underneath him, and then figure him out, get him back into the offense. So it's really good to have Egbuka back for the Buckeyes this afternoon.
We just went 7 full minutes without even using the word Michigan. How about that? Feels like every conversation with Ohio State fans in the last week, for sure, has had nothing to do with the current team, with the game this week, or anything leading up to the next couple of weeks. It's pretty singularly focused. And I think there's going to be a pretty strong contingent of Ohio State fans paying attention to what Michigan and Purdue have in store today. Can Purdue give Michigan a game if Michigan doesn't know what plays they're calling? The reality is Michigan's talent level is impressive. They're very good. But I'm interested to see how that game goes, because I've seen Purdue in person, and I don't think Purdue's very good. And I've watched Michigan several times, and I think they're excellent. But who knows? I guess we're going to find out.
It'll add to the soap opera that is Michigan football currently at the moment.
College football is quite the soap opera, and we are certainly enjoying that, that's for sure. So in the meantime, we're at SHI Stadium and looking forward to a big game today. Every time Ohio State takes the field, they got to have their best game, because they know they're going to always get somebody's best shot. And obviously now they are officially ranked the number 1 team in the country. And so whenever you host the number 1 team in the country, you're going to try to make it a crazy environment and make it difficult. And I know Rutgers is hoping that they can play spoiler. That's the best part about this time of year. You either win games that are really meaningful, or you have a chance to spoil somebody else's party. And I know Rutgers is trying to figure out how to make that part of what they've got going here too.
Yeah, no question about it. No, it's a great opportunity for Rutgers to try and knock them off. And, that's what their message has been all week, right? Why not us? Why not us? Why can't we go in and for 60 minutes this afternoon, on Saturday afternoon today, just go give your best effort and just see what happens, right? On paper, Ohio State's a better team. They know that. We know that. But the game's not played on paper. You got to go out on the field and put it out there. So, you're going to get Rutgers' best shot. We'll see what the Buckeyes have in store for them.
Looking forward to seeing this one live here at 12 noon in Piscataway. Of course, we've got all the latest news and info that you could want on the Ohio State Buckeyes over on buckeyesnow.com. We're part of the Fan Nation Network in the Sports Illustrated Media Group. We'll have Ryan Day's press conference streaming live for you post-game. And then Anthony and I will jump back together and we'll do a little post-game reaction video as well. You can check that out here on our YouTube channel. For Anthony Moeglin, I'm Brendan Gulick, Ohio State and Rutgers. 12 noon kick here in Piscataway. Enjoy the game.